Working on a J Series Honda V6, 3.0 liter I believe this one is. But this will cover from 99 all the way into your Accords, your TLs, your CLs, all the way up to 2007, 2009, 2010-ish I believe, your Ridgelines, your Pilots, your Accords, your Ridgelines, your Odysseys. But one thing I want to share with you guys is that there's a common oil leak on these particular engines. Not only does the valve cover leak, but there's also one more leak right there. Stay tuned, I'll show you what it is. On closer inspection, you can tell that this valve cover gasket is leaking. If you can see it down here, we have some oil coming out. This valve cover gasket is probably the original gasket. The owner does not know when it was changed last, but somebody did do the spark plugs on this. I did pull out the spark plug, and it does have a Denso spark plug, so somebody went in there and did something to this engine. But let me show you this. So not only do the valve covers leak, but you need to change them on both sides, but you also have oil tube seals that seals where the spark plug goes down into. That is an oil tube, and at the top of the valve cover there's a seal, and that prevents oil from going down into the spark plug tube. If oil goes down in the spark plug tube, that can be a very bad thing because it can cause the coil, which is right here, to get cooked. And if that cooks, it's going to swell and expand. You're going to have a misfire and can actually swell the coil up so much that the coil gets stuck down there. And I'll put a link down in the description below to a video where a coil pack broke on me and I had to get heat to get it out. But that's not what we're here for. What I wanted to show you, not only does the valve cover leak, but you have a little tiny round cover that basically butts up against the camshaft, and that cover, and I'll show you here in a second on another head I have over here in the garage. That cover has an O-ring as well, and that leaks. One theory that I have and why it leaks is the fact that this one leaks more often than the one in the back does. Why? Probably because this EGR valve is sitting right here. This thing gets hot as hell, and it has a, things get hot, they cool down, hot, cool down. So you have the cooling and heating effect on this O-ring, on this little plate, and that eventually will wear out the O-ring, make it stiff and brittle. So that is my theory why the front one wears out a lot sooner than the rear one does. Right here is the O-ring that you need, Honda 91301-P8A-A00. For those of you who cannot read, it's just a tiny little O-ring. Well, not that tiny, but it's just an O-ring. I'll put a link down in the description below where you guys can find this on Amazon. So it's very easy to get this plate out. You have two 12mm bolts that hold the EGR on. You have a connector, which is right there. The other bolt is right there. You pull this up and out. There's a gasket. Don't lose that gasket. You can reuse that gasket, not a problem. Then you have two 10mm bolts that hold the plate on. And then you can get access to the O-ring. But let me show you on this other head real quick what I'm talking about, because you can't see very much here. What you're looking at is a head off a 2007 Acura TL. This is the plate I'm talking about. So the EGR valve is not in the way. Actually, this whole engine is out of the vehicle. So this is the plate. So you take that plate out, or you actually first you remove the EGR valve, remove this plate, the O-ring will be right there, and just replace it. I'll clean up the plate as well as I can before reinstalling it. That'll take care of one oil leak, and then we got to get in there, do the valve cover gaskets. Let me show you these oil tube seals real quick while I'm at it. Okay, here we go. I haven't popped these out yet. So right here, on the back side of the valve cover, these are the oil tube seals. These seal the tubes right here. So the spark plug goes down here. This is the oil tube seal. These O-rings, that's going to fall. Get slid over the oil tube and keep oil from entering into there. And if oil fills up there, it's not a good thing. You don't want that to happen. Bad things start happening when oil fills up your spark plug tube. So always use a quality valve cover gasket. I'll do a video on that and put a link down in the description as well. But yeah, let me show you. Enough blabbing. Let me show you how to get that plate out. All right, here's the EGR valve. We're going to take this clip. Actually, just push this down and then push it that way to get it free and clear. Got that. Now we'll go down and tackle the two 12mm bolts. Nuts, actually, I should say. Okay, get your 12mm down here. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Break the other side loose. Got a shallow 12mm 3/8 socket that I'll put down there. Let me see if I can get you a better angle of the one in the back. Right here. That's it right there. So I'm just pulling it off with my fingertips. There's the other one. Now this should lift right up and out. There's the EGR valve. Have my Milwaukee 12mm wrench here. Love this sucker. Put a link down in the description below. Just go up in here and break these loose. That one's loose. Let's see if I have enough leverage to get this one off. Yep. Why I like these Milwaukees so much is they have a great comfortable handle. They also have this large lettering that tells you exactly what wrench you're getting. 12-point closed end. And on the open end, it has these aggressive teeth. You can see right there that you use to grab the nuts and bolts. So that's pretty impressive. That's probably one of the most aggressive teeth I've seen in a wrench in all my life. And I've been alive a long time. Okay, now just pull these two out. They should be the exact same size. Two bolts, exactly the same. Now let me see about getting this plate off. I'm going to get a little hammer and a piece of wood, try to hit it right here at the edge. Or like, you can't see that side. I'm going to hit it right here on the edge where the bolt goes into. So let me see if I can get that free and clear and loosened up a little bit. Because every time I try to grab this, there's so much oil on here, I can't even rotate it, or I need to break that seal. It's probably never been changed before. Got a 2x4, I'm going to put it right here on the top. I got a hammer. Just going to try to love tap this thing, if I can even get in there with this 2x4. I'm actually going to take this connector out. See if I can get a little bit more room. Okay, have it on the top there. That is stuck in there. So, yep, it moved a little bit. There, you can see it's moving. Okay, now grab a little like pry bar, stick it behind this one and push it that way. Just be careful when you're doing this because this is aluminum, so that's why I'm using a piece of wood, or you can use a piece of plastic. Don't use a piece of steel when you hit that because you could damage that end plate. Got my index pry bar. Gonna put it at the little, gonna put it so it's facing out all the way out. Get beneath or under behind the plate and then try to pop it out that way. There we go. It's out. Have a rag because you're going to lose some oil. When you do this, don't worry, nothing's going to pop out of the engine or anything. There we go. There's the plate. And there's the O-ring I'm talking about. So I'm going to take this, clean this up to the best of my ability, get some brake cleaner, spray it here on top, spray this off. You pop the seal off and put the new one on. To help slide it back on, you put some oil on the O-ring, WD-40, just some lubricant to push the seal back on. I didn't damage anything here, so we should be good. If you're going to pry anywhere or hit on any of this plate right here, do it where the bolts go through, because if you do it on the sealing surface right here, you just might run the risk of creating a leak that you don't want. So if you guys have gotten this far, you can figure out the rest. I won't bore you with putting everything back together. But yeah, there you guys go. If you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing to Bundys Garage, and I will talk to you later.